Got one of my Christmas presents out. She bought me a moisture reader. I've been wanting one for a while, but it's pretty basic, simple. It's got different ones on here. Like A is for walnut and white poplar. Then B is for or walnut. B is for like poplar. C is for ash and elm. D is for like basswood. But just looking at the different woods you got. But I was just going to go through here and we'll read some of them and see what the moisture reading is. These has all been sitting in the dry. Them slabs, I just slabbed them so they're fresh. But this has been under the carport for almost a year and a half.
That's a store-bought.
That's store-bought.
So,
Well, it's on A. Hang on a minute.
okay, so it
I
does
need to
matter.
go to, well, I don't know whether it matters or not, but we'll need to go to D.
Oh.
This is pine. So that's been sitting under the shed. It's like at 14, 15, 14.9, between 15.9. That's been there about a year and a half. This is some that I'd cut probably about a year ago, or when I first got my sawmill. It's at 17%.
Got glare. Okay.
Make sure you push your probes in there. It's good to split it and have a fresh edge on that middle. You can check, but I'm not splitting these. And this is some older stuff that's been laying in the garage. It's like at 17. This is some poplar strips that we used on the cabin that's been cut less than a month. And it's that poplar's already dried out to 15 too.
So once it's cut,
Once it's cut, it dries out.
fairly quick.
And we cut some blanks the other day. Let's see what the moisture is on them. .6%.
Well, also, does it matter how thick the board is?
Well, it'll dry out different, but that's just reading. That's like the best way to get your reading is to split the board and take it from the middle. That's like if you go from the end grain, we're at 50% moisture.
So dead center in the middle of the
Yeah,
board.
but if you split it, you're in a fresh section.
Okay.
This has already been drying out some. But this is cherry. I cut the same time as I cut that. And it's already down to 17%.
So really it depends on
It percents on the wood, different type of wood, even the end.
Okay.
That cherry dries out. Cherry's about like poplar. It'll dry out real quick.
Okay, now what about the ones that you just got done cutting?
Well,
The oak.
I mean, they're wet where we wet them down. But here's one spot that's dried out just a little bit. But it's like at 54%, 53% moisture.
Now, as far as like that little moisture reader, now I know we looked online and they were anywhere from $10 to $100. And we kind of went middle of the road. The really high-end, expensive ones had all kinds of bells and gadgets.
Oh, they had them that would hook to your phone and everything.
Yeah.
I really don't need that. I just want to check to see what the moisture. If I'm selling a piece of wood and somebody says, well, what's the moisture content in it? I can give them an accurate moisture content.
Well, at least a good
Close to it.
ballpark.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, this one runs on like a little square battery. It's got a pretty good protective case.
Yeah.
And we found it on Amazon. I mean, we didn't buy the cheapest, but we didn't buy the most expensive. I think we paid probably $25, maybe $30. And it's got a good range of types of wood, especially for around here. Now, if we were in, a very exotic area where they had exotic woods, I'm sure we'd want one that had all kinds of wood.
And I'm not sure what it changes moving that around. But it does change the readout, so something's set up for it.
Right. Well, and also the type of wood, tighter grain versus looser grain makes a difference, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you pick up a slab of oak compared to a slab of poplar or pine, you know the difference as soon as you pick it up.
Right.
More denser wood.
Well, but when you're building, after they've dried out, sometimes there's...
Oak's still heavier than
Yeah,
poplar or pine. Just a more dense, compact wood.
don't be afraid to use a lot of these little gadgets. They're all good instruction-wise. They give you some idea, even as far as even burning wood,
Yeah, you want to get the moisture content between... I know a lot of firewood, if you can get it down to between 10-16%, it burns really good. It's pretty much dry. I checked it in the house on some of our old beams, and they've been in there for 20-something years, and moisture content was 7.6 on it. So, that's old beams that's been there dried out, and I know they're dried out.
Yeah, they're really dried out.
You ain't never going to get it down to 0.
Right. And then we've seen some that there were 50 and 70%, up to 50, 60,
if
70.
you got a fresh piece of wood, it'll be up there.
Yeah. So,
that's what we're showing you.
yeah, just a nice little tool he got. So, well, we just wanted to show you the moisture reader. Also, what did you find out on why the blades was jumping off track?
Evidently, I just didn't have it lined up. I lined it back up and finished slabbing up, and everything worked good.
Yeah, we were worried because that was the same time we were trying the diesel in the water tank.
Yeah, and I thought it may be getting it too slick on the belts, but no, I put it back on, lined everything back up, and tightened her down good. Worked good.
Okay, so that is a good thing. Nothing broke, which is nice. Well, anything else you want to add to this little video, dear?
Just like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, share with your family and friends, comment, suggestions. We're still out here. It's a nice day, but they're predicting snow, so we're trying to get some things cleaned up and some firewood on the porch. And
got the generators all going.
Yeah, got gas in the
ready
generators.
To go.
We've got a couple of freezers full of beef, so we don't want to lose them. So we got the generators going and make sure they're fired up and ready. And this garage is still a disaster right now. Where the planer broke down, it still broke down, but we've ordered our parts. So here in the next few videos, you may see us trying to replace this wonderful little sprocket that's all broken. So that's going to be a nice little learning curve for us, trying to put this all back together. But you know what? That's all right, because if you do it yourself, you know it, you learn it, and it's not going to be a problem the next time they break.
No, people need to be more self-sufficient anymore.
Yes.
Everything's not going to be there on demand and everything forever.
Right.
If I don't want a catastrophe, but if there is a catastrophe, people need to know how to do stuff.
Right.
And a lot of people just, nowadays, they don't know how to do stuff. That's like Dad showed me how to do stuff. And a lot of people just, anymore, it's with the computers and this generation. I know I'm on the internet, on YouTube. But with this generation, everything's all about, the internet and everything else. And
The internet can show you how to do it.
Yeah, internet. And I use YouTube a lot to learn how to do stuff. But people need to be more sufficient and more self-reliant.
Right. Well, we were raised in a generation that if it broke, you didn't go and buy new, you repaired it, and hopefully you had a few more years in it.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted a car, it was like, okay, we'll go build your engine and find you a frame. And
No, not that bad.
well,
but
it wasn't new.
we didn't buy nothing new.
Yeah,
It was all hand-me-down and used stuff.
right. But we learned how to make do with what we had, and
and work on what we had.
and work on what we had. And you know, although we never had kids, but I think if we ever did have kids, they would know how to cook and clean and do repair on a vehicle, and
Probably not, but it's a good thought.
it's a good thought. So, well, I think we're going to close it off for now. He's still out here doing some stuff, but that's our little tidbit for this little video. I hope you enjoy it. As always, remember, we love you. God loves you. Y'all have a blessed day.